Hey everyone, so if you've ever tried to build something that moves with an Arduino, like a robot arm, a little rover, or whatever, you've probably hit this one specific wall pretty fast. You can't just plug a motor straight into the board. So today we're going to dive into a really popular and powerful fix for that exact problem, the Arduino motor shield.
So let's just tackle that big question right from the start. You've got your Arduino, you've got a motor. Why on earth can't you just connect the two wires to the pins and, have it spin? I mean, it really feels like it should be that easy, right?
Well, the simple truth is it's all about muscle. Think of your Arduino's pins. They're super smart, great for sending signals and data, but they just don't pack enough of a punch. They can't handle the raw electrical current that motors need to actually get moving. They just don't have the strength for that kind of heavy lifting. And that right there is where the hero of our story comes in, the Arduino motor shield. This is the piece of hardware that acts as the muscle, bridging that gap between your Arduino's brain and your project's brawn.
Now, if you're kind of new to this, you might be asking, what exactly is a shield? Just think of it like a specialized backpack for your Arduino. It's a circuit board that you plug right on top and boom, it instantly gets new superpowers. In this case, the power to drive motors, all without creating a chaotic rat's nest of extra wires.
All right, so let's pop the hood on this thing and take a quick tour. We're going to see what really makes it tick and break down the key parts that are doing all the real work for us. Okay, the real heart of the shield are these two identical black chips right here, the L293D motor drivers. These guys are the workhorses. They're the ones that are actually handling the power and controlling the motors. So what's their deal? Well, each L293D is what's called a dual-channel H-bridge driver. Now that sounds super technical, I know, but you can just imagine it as a set of really, really fast electronic switches. They can flip the direction of the electrical current in an instant, and that's what gives it the magic power to control not just how fast a motor is spinning, but which direction it's spinning in too. It's pretty cool. But to manage all of that control for two of those driver chips, they need a little helper. And that's where this little guy comes in, the 74HC595 shift register. It might look small, but its job is absolutely essential. And here is why this little chip is such a game changer. Your Arduino only has so many pins, right? They're precious. Well, this shift register acts like a pin expander. It cleverly takes just 4 of your Arduino's pins and, like magic, turns them into the 8 separate control signals that you need to boss around both of those motor drivers. This is brilliant because it leaves all your other Arduino pins free for other fun stuff like sensors, buttons, or LCD screens. So, with all that hardware, what can you actually do? Let's look at the numbers. With just this one shield, you can control up to 4 regular DC motors, or you could control 2 more precise stepper motors, and it even has dedicated spots for 2 servo motors. That is a ton of motion control packed onto a single simple board. And the designers threw in some other really thoughtful features too. You've got pull-down resistors, which basically stop your motors from twitching weirdly when you first power everything on. There's a little LED light that tells you your external motor power is connected and working. They even brought the Arduino's reset button up to the top so it's easy to get to. And you've got these extra headers for plugging in analog sensors. It's all just really convenient. Okay, that's enough theory. We know how it's built. We know what the parts do. But how do we actually use the thing? Let's walk through the steps and put this shield to work. But wait, before we go one step further, I have to stop right here. There is one extremely important detail we need to talk about. This is a critical warning about this little power jumper on the board. Seriously, getting this wrong can ruin your day. So this jumper connects the motor's power to the Arduino's power. Now, if you are using a separate power supply for your motors, which, trust me, you almost always should be, you must pull this jumper off. The source material is not subtle about this. It says this is very important, otherwise you might burn your Arduino. So yeah, let's not do that. Okay, with that very important warning out of the way, getting started is actually super straightforward. First, you'll install the Adafruit Motor Shield library. Just make sure you get the V1 version for this specific shield. Then you literally just plug the shield onto your Arduino. Step 3, connect your separate power for the motors. Step 4, upload your code. And last, you just wire up your motors to the screw terminals. That's it. It's really that easy. So, there you have it. That's the full picture. You get why you can't just plug a motor into an Arduino, and you see exactly how this awesome piece of hardware solves that problem, piece by piece. At the end of the day, a shield like this is basically a key. It unlocks a whole new world for your projects.
It's the difference between a project that just blinks an LED and one that can actually move, interact with the world, and physically do things. You now have the power to really bring your ideas to life. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?